This deep dive, we're going to Bhutan.
Bhutan.
Yeah, Bhutan. It's this Himalayan kingdom, and they've decided to go down a very different path, let me tell you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're all about this thing called gross national happiness.
Gross national happiness.
Yeah, GNH, it's like their main thing.
Interesting.
It's like their alternative to just always focusing on GDP,
Yeah.
Like they're really focused on the well-being of their citizens and not just economic growth.
I see.
And it gets even more interesting. We're talking about a country that's carbon negative.
What?
Yeah, they're carbon negative. They've got all these protected forests, and their approach to tourism is completely different from anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah. So let's take a deep dive into Bhutan and see what they can teach us about happiness.
Yeah, I'm really curious to learn more about this.
So what is it about Bhutan that makes them so unique when it comes to this whole happiness thing?
Well, you see, in Bhutan, gross national happiness isn't just some slogan they throw around. It's
Right.
like deeply ingrained in their government, their policies,
Yeah.
even their daily lives.
Wow.
It's really a part of their culture.
Okay, so let's break this whole GNH thing down a bit. Where did it even come from?
Well, it all started back in the 1970s.
Okay.
Bhutan's fourth king, Jigme Singye Wangchuck, he was the one who introduced this idea of GNH. He believed that, like, true development, it wasn't just about economic growth. It was about finding this balance between material wealth and the spiritual well-being of the people.
Right.
It's a much more holistic view of what progress actually means.
Yeah, I see. So how does Bhutan actually put this idea into practice?
Well, there are these 4 pillars that support GNH.
Okay.
Sustainable socioeconomics, cultural preservation,
Right.
environmental conservation,
Gotcha.
and good governance.
Okay, I'm following you.
These 4 pillars are like the foundation
Yeah.
for a happy and balanced society.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But how do you even go about measuring happiness?
Well, they have this thing called the GNH index.
Okay.
It's based on 9 domains.
9.
Yeah, 9. They cover like everything from education and health to get this psychological well-being, even how people use their time.
Interesting.
They actually conduct surveys
Wow.
asking people about things like mental health and how they spend their time.
It's really comprehensive then.
Yeah, it is.
So time use, that's a fascinating one.
Right?
What does Bhutan do differently when it comes to time?
Well, the GNH index,
Yeah.
it looks at whether people feel rushed,
Right.
stressed, or if they have enough time for leisure and community involvement.
Yeah.
Bhutanese culture really emphasizes a slower pace of life.
I see.
For example, they really value spending time with family and friends,
Yeah.
participating in traditional festivals.
I can see that.
It's more about the quality of life,
Okay.
rather than just being busy all the time.
Yeah, it's a different way of looking at things, for sure. So Bhutan's got this unique philosophy.
Yeah.
They're actually measuring it. But are they living up to it?
Uh-huh.
What are some of their successes?
Well, Bhutan is actually a global leader when it comes to environmental conservation.
Okay.
They're one of the very few carbon negative countries in the world.
Carbon negative.
Yeah, meaning they absorb more carbon dioxide
Wow.
from the atmosphere than they release.
That's incredible.
And this is largely because of their commitment to maintaining at least 60% forest cover.
That's amazing. And, Bhutan is known for its incredible natural beauty.
Yes,
Does their approach to tourism tie into this whole GNH thing?
absolutely.
Okay.
Bhutan has this thing called a high-value, low-impact tourism policy. So basically, they limit the number of tourist visas they issue each year
Oh, right.
to try and minimize damage to the environment and preserve their cultural heritage.
That makes a lot of sense.
For instance, visitors have to pay a minimum daily fee,
Okay.
which goes towards supporting local communities and conservation efforts.
I see.
So it's all about quality tourism, not just mass tourism.
Yeah, quality over quantity.
Exactly.
It sounds pretty idyllic, to be honest.
Right.
But I'm guessing there are challenges to this approach as well.
Of course, there are always challenges.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones is balancing modernization
Uh-huh.
with preserving Bhutan's unique cultural identity.
Yeah. I can
Yeah.
imagine that's tough.
It is. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected,
Right.
it's hard to remain isolated.
I imagine that must be especially tough on young people growing up in Bhutan today.
It is. Youth unemployment is a huge concern.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of migration from rural areas to the urban centers,
Right.
people looking for more opportunities,
Yeah.
And this kind of highlights the need for equitable development across the whole country, making sure that the benefits of GNH are actually reaching all parts of Bhutanese society.
It's a complex issue for sure. So it seems like Bhutan has started a global conversation about how we measure progress.
Definitely. Bhutan's GNH model has inspired a real movement
Cool.
all over the world.
Hmm.
Organizations, even governments, are now looking at alternative measures of well-being.
That go beyond the economic.
Exactly. It's not just about the money anymore. People are realizing that true progress needs to include happiness,
Right.
environmental sustainability,
Yeah.
and social justice.
It's about the bigger picture.
It is.
So what can we learn from Bhutan's story?
Yeah.
Can happiness actually be the priority?
Well, I think Bhutan's journey shows us that it is possible to create a society that values the well-being of its people alongside economic growth.
Yeah.
Now, their specific approach, it might not be easily replicated everywhere,
Sure.
but it offers a really powerful example of a very different way of thinking about what progress really means.
It really makes you think, what if we could design a GNH index for our own communities?
That would be something.
What would we choose to prioritize? What aspects of well-being would we measure?
Interesting question.
How could we create a society that truly values happiness? It's a fascinating thought experiment to consider, isn't it?
It really is.
And that's what we love to do here on The Deep Dive.
Absolutely.
We unpack these complex ideas and hopefully leave you with some food for thought.
Something to ponder.
Who knows what other unique perspectives and approaches are out there just waiting to be discovered.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
That's for sure.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for joining me for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye for now.
See ya.